Am I the asshole for not buying spare travel tickets in case of an emergency? My sister is getting married in Wales soon. The family has to travel up there since most if not all of us live quite far away. We've all got our own ways of traveling, and I've opted to take the coach. For those who don't know, a coach is like a fancy bus that goes further distances than normal buses. My younger brother was worried about traveling with his partner, so I offered to pay for both of their tickets, including the return. Since we'd be traveling together, and I have the app, I can show all three and we get seated, no problems whatsoever. He and his partner agreed to that. There is a 2-hour rest before a swap and other small rest points where people can walk around for 10 minutes or so. I did say to them that they can go out and walk around if they want to, but they have to follow the rota. I did warn them that if they miss the coach, I won't be buying new tickets for them and they'd have to figure it out themselves. I'm not made of money, and tickets get pricier the sooner you need them. This got a negative reaction not just from them, but from my mom as well. They all seemed to have the impression that I was going to cover any sudden coach costs when I never said I would. All I did was cover the main ticket for the trip up and the return. The only reason I offered was because they were panicking about how everyone's going to get up there. Should I just buy new tickets for them if they miss the rota? Am I the asshole? Hang on, they want you to promise to buy additional tickets if they wander away at one of the stop-offs and forget to get back on the coach. That's a hard no, I think. Not the asshole. Stop babying them. They are adults. You're welcome for covering your ticket. Here it is. The rest of the travel is your responsibility. If you are that worried about missing the bus, don't get off at the stops. Repeat ad nauseum. They can download the app and handle their own logistics. You are already doing them a favor by paying. Not the asshole. That's how any bus or train travel is. It's gonna leave on time, so you'd better be on it. Not the asshole. Why on earth would this even have come up as a topic? I would never think to lay out. If you miss the bus at a rest stop, I'm not replacing your ticket. Do they have a history of incredibly poor time management and irresponsible behavior? You've put them on notice. There's absolutely no reason or excuse for them to miss the bus. And if they do, it'll be on them to fix it. If they aren't appreciative of your offer, take it back. Don't buy any tickets for them. Your mom can buy them the tickets and pander to them. Look up the subreddit, Choosing Beggars. Info. I'm not sure why this is such a big issue, you haven't even left yet, and as long as they don't go to far away, they're not going to miss the bus. Is this something your brother might regularly do? Am I the asshole for treating people like dogs? When I was little, I was told to stop a dog from barking for attention. You have to ignore them. So I do this with people. I had a particularly shouty boyfriend when I was a teenager, and I just learned if I completely ignored him when he was shouting, he learned that it wasn't going to work. If he wanted a response, he'd have to talk calmly. We broke up eventually, but me and the guy I'm seeing, although probably won't be soon, got into an argument. As soon as he started to raise his voice, I stopped responding. It's kind of innate now. Anyway, he said I can't train people like dogs, and that it's manipulative. Shouting is a natural part of arguing. Honestly, it's not just partners. Even in school, I'd never get into a shouting match with anyone. Edit. I would not normally explain it like this, but I had to on this occasion because he thought I was dissociating and I might have PTSD or something. Not the asshole. Shouting is not part of arguing. It's actually a sign of bad communication. Anyway, he said I can't train people like dogs and that it's manipulative. Shouting is a natural part of arguing. No, it isn't. It may be his way of silencing you, but it isn't a natural part of arguing. Just look at him and say, I won't respond until you can speak to me in a civil tone of voice. If he can't handle that, your relationship will probably be, and in my opinion, should be short-lived. Not the asshole. I would say you'll probably have more luck having people accept it if you tell them you're enforcing a boundary. I don't engage with people when they raise their voice, than if you continue to say that you are treating them like a dog. But on the other hand, you are probably not going to get along with someone who thinks it's a normal part of life to regularly have arguments that involve raised voices. So you are not the asshole for not engaging with raised voices, but a little bit for the way you phrase it, because people find that offensive. If you are trying to be tactful, you might want to rephrase, but you don't have to. We are, in fact, animals, and can in fact be trained in similar ways. Nah, you're not training anyone. This is your boundary. You refuse to engage when being spoken to like this. You're not refusing all forms of communication, you're refusing to be screamed at. Big difference. Not the asshole. But at the same time, I wouldn't tell people you are treating them like an untrained dog. Also, the silent treatment isn't acceptable. Neither is yelling at someone you care about. But arguments do happen in relationships, any couple that doesn't have those. I would suggest call them boundaries and explain them to your partner. It sounds like your boundary would be you will remove yourself from a situation if it escalates to yelling. Shouting is not a normal thing in an argument. Sounds like they're bad news. I'd leave now. Not the asshole. Am I the asshole helping a kid stuck in a tree, then calling mall security? I went to the mall last night with my girlfriend, and we were walking in and saw a kid crying with his foot stuck in a tree trunk. He was around 5'7", and he was struggling hard to, and it was very awkwardly placed. We went into the mall, got the Hoko dress, and started out. Maybe 30 minutes altogether. The mall really sucks BTW. We walked out, and he was still stuck and complaining his ankle hurts really bad. I heard the dad yell, "You got it in there, you can get it out." Having enough of this, I just went over and helped him. His parents got out all mad, and he was on the ground crying in pain. Apparently he tried to pull really hard and lost his balance, twisting his ankle to the point he couldn't stand up. I called mall security, who then called the cops, and they took a statement and said I could leave. I came home to my dad telling me I should have minded my own business, and everyone said that was a learning experience for the boy. Am I the asshole? Ta. He was weeping, hurt and stuck for 30 minutes, and his dad did nothing to help? Are you kidding me? If my kids were weeping in pain, I'm not sure I would have waited at all. What if he had broken his foot? That poor kid. Not the asshole. And I'm a FAFO fan, but 30 minutes is way too long to leave a kid who is that young in a painful and precarious situation. In fact, their brains aren't developed enough for a timeout that long. It's borderline abuse. Reminds me of the father who made his son run on the treadmill until he collapsed and died. Had it been my kid, I'd let them struggle for less than 5 minutes before helping them and having a convo about climbing on things in places not appropriate. You took care of a kid whose parents couldn't be bothered. Minding your own business, in this case, is code for passively endorsed child abuse. Shame on your father. The only learning experience for the boy is to know that his parents are not trustworthy. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. Stuck in a tree for half an hour with a twisted ankle isn't teaching him anything. If you hadn't helped, how long were they going to wait to help the poor kid? Not the asshole. Mind your own business when a child is in pain? No way. Not the asshole. The parents were neglecting a child in distress. AITA. I don't want SIL to stay with us over Christmas with new baby. Background. So, as with many people out there, I have not had a great relationship with my sister-in-law, SIL. Since meeting her, we have butted heads over many issues, which have resulted in unpleasant family trips and holidays. I feel she has been rude and disrespectful to me on many topics, most painful of which is the fact that my husband and I care for her mother, my MIL, full-time. Their mother has early-onset Alzheimer's, and we moved her to our city, despite her living near my SIL previously, to take care of her full-time. She has lived in our house for the past 3 years, and we provide around-the-clock care for her advanced dementia. My SIL has never offered assistance, financial or otherwise, for her own mother. When we travel together, she doesn't help care for her mother, and my husband and I end up doing it. She continually questions her condition and tells us we should just stick her in a nursing home. When she does visit or call, we get criticism and critiques of how we should be caring for my MIL better. This is personally offensive to me, not only for someone telling me how to run my house, but that we have given her own mother a great life, and she should be offering help and gratitude, not telling us what to do differently when she shows up once or twice a year. I truly don't mind that we do 100% of the care for her mother, but I don't want criticism for how we do it. When a conflict with my SIL arises, my husband does not step in, mediate, or defend me from his sister's attacks. When my SIL visits my city to see her mother, my husband wants to let her stay in our house. Last time I put my foot down and said no, because I was 5 months pregnant and my own mother was just diagnosed with terminal cancer, so I have been very overwhelmed. She didn't stay in our home, and that visit went okay. Now SIL wants to visit for the upcoming holidays, and my husband wants to let her stay in our house. I am still nervous about this, because if a conflict does arise, my husband won't support me, and I will be uncomfortable in my own house. I am currently 8 months pregnant, and the baby will be 6 weeks old during her visit over the holidays. I am very nervous to agree to let someone I have had so much difficulty with stay in my house, especially when I will have a newborn baby, and am still going through absolute hell with my mother's cancer situation. Supporting my parents through this time has been devastating, on top of being pregnant and caring for my MIL. I'm trying to be protective of my mental health and the well-being of my new family. I am happy to spend time with her and try to improve our relationship over time. She can take her mother out as much as she wants, meet our new baby. I just don't want her staying in our house in case an issue arises. For what it's worth, she has enough money to stay at a hotel no problem. Am I the asshole for telling my husband my SIL can't stay with us during the holidays? Not the asshole for getting the rest of the lore of your story. You're going to be still healing and have a newborn. No one should be expected to play host with a 6-week-old baby. You also have a husband problem. When your life settles more and is less overwhelming, I urge you to explore your husband's lack of support for you. You're doing so much for him. The least he can do is look out for you. New baby, no immunity, need to limit visitors until vaccines are given. Perfect excuse. Your real issue is with your husband. Frankly, your SIL could be the best person in the world, and you would still not be the AH. You will just given birth. You are healing. You need rest. Guests are not something a new mother should worry about. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. Go back to the part where your husband won't support you. That's the crux of the problem. If he won't defend you, keep you from having to deal with her mouth, or at the very least strongly agree with you when you reject what she's saying. Who boy is that a red flag. I haven't had issues with my siblings versus my wife, but if I ever did, it'd be one of the quickest decisions of my life. I know it's not what your post is about, but if you can afford it, you really should look at some homes. I've worked a dementia care unit. It's hard work, and I could separate it from my home life. Husband needs to grow a backbone and stand up for you. Also, who needs another visitor in their home with a new baby? Baby won't be protected from any possible disease SIL may bring into the home. Not the asshole.